A mother left her baby alone in the living room, the family's German shepherd watching nearby. Minutes later, when she checked the camera, her blood ran cold. What she saw made her scream, not out of fear, but out of shock at what the loyal dog had done. For the mother, it seemed like any ordinary day. She placed her baby on the floor with a blanket, smiling as the child began to crawl eagerly toward a colorful toy. Nearby, their German shepherd stood tall and watchful. Loyal and protective, he had grown up with the family, always keeping a careful eye on the little one. The mother trusted him completely. To her, he wasn't just a pet, he was a guardian. With laundry to finish, she stepped into the next room, confident that her baby was safe under his watch. But what seemed like a routine moment would soon turn into something unforgettable. The dog's sharp ears twitched at every sound, his amber eyes following the baby's every move. He wasn't relaxed, he was on high alert. Something in his instincts stirred uneasily, though the mother, busy with chores, noticed nothing. Little did she know, the camera recording quietly in the corner would soon capture a moment that would change everything. The baby's tiny hands pressed against the soft carpet as he crawled forward, his wide eyes filled with curiosity. Every corner of the room was an adventure waiting to be discovered. He giggled as he reached for a block, then abandoned it just as quickly to chase after something new. His world was small, but to him, it felt endless. The German shepherd padded quietly behind him, never more than a step away. His massive frame loomed protectively, his ears flicking at every sound, his nose twitching at every movement. He wasn't playing, he was guarding. Each time the baby reached for something unfamiliar, the dog's gaze sharpened, as though weighing whether it was safe or dangerous. A toy had rolled underneath, just out of reach, and his little fingers stretched toward the shadows. The shepherd's muscles tensed, his tail stiffening as he lowered his head. He knew what the baby could not, that something hidden there was not as harmless as it seemed. The baby's hand reached further into the darkness beneath the sofa, his soft giggles echoing through the room. To him, it was just a game, retrieving a toy hidden from sight. But the German shepherd's body stiffened, hackles rising as a low growl rumbled in his throat. His instincts screamed that something was wrong. The dog crept closer, lowering his head until his nose brushed against the shadows. His ears pinned back as he sniffed, catching the faint, sharp scent of something unfamiliar, metallic and dangerous. The baby, unaware of the warning, squealed happily, inching his tiny body closer to the edge. His diaper rustled as he shifted, determined to reach what lay beneath. The shepherd let out a sharp bark, startling the child. The baby froze, blinking in surprise, then giggled again, assuming it was play. But the dog didn't relax. His muscles coiled, his amber eyes locked on the hidden object with unshakable focus. Each second that passed heightened the tension. The camera captured every movement, though the mother had yet to glance at it. The shepherd knew, whatever was under that sofa, it wasn't safe. And he would not let the baby touch it. The baby stretched farther, his tiny fingers brushing against something cold beneath the sofa. Just as he leaned in, the German shepherd lunged forward. His powerful jaws closed gently around the back of the diaper, yanking the baby away with a sudden pull. The little one let out a startled cry, flailing his arms in confusion. To the untrained eye, it looked frightening, like the dog had attacked. His teeth tugged firmly, dragging the baby across the carpet until he was clear of the sofa's shadow. The shepherd stood over him then, chest heaving, eyes fixed on the hidden danger on the camera feed. The scene appeared shocking. The loyal pet's sudden aggression looked terrifying, as if he had turned against the child he was supposed to protect. The baby whimpered softly, tears welling in his eyes. And in that very moment, down the hall, the mother glanced at the screen, and her heart stopped first. She smiled at the sight of her little one crawling across the carpet. But within seconds, her blood ran cold. On the screen, the German shepherd had his teeth clamped onto her baby's diaper, pulling him away with force. Her heart pounded wildly. She dropped the clothes in her hands, panic flooding every thought. "No," she gasped, sprinting toward the living room. The sight replayed in her mind, her trusted dog dragging her helpless baby across the floor. Every mother's nightmare gripped her chest like a vice. The sound of the baby's cries reached her ears, mixing with the sharp bark of the dog. She stumbled over a chair, desperate to reach them, fear clouding her judgment. All she could imagine was danger, betrayal, and the worst possible outcome. Finally, she burst into the room, her voice trembling with terror. "Stop! Leave him!" she screamed, convinced she was witnessing the unthinkable. Her scream echoed through the house, captured by the camera, raw, terrified, and unforgettable. The mother rushed forward, ready to tear her child from the shepherd's grasp. But as she dropped to her knees, her eyes caught a glimpse beneath the sofa. Her breath hitched. Hidden in the shadows lay a jagged shard of broken glass, glittering faintly in the dim light. Her scream faded into silence as the truth struck her. The dog hadn't attacked, he had saved. The glass, sharp and deadly, was inches from her baby's reaching hand. If not for the shepherd's sudden intervention, those fragile fingers would have been cut, perhaps far worse. Tears welled in her eyes as she realized what she had misjudged. The shepherd now stood guard in front of the sofa, chest puffed out, growling low at the danger as if daring it to harm the baby. The mother's fear melted into relief, then into shame for doubting him. Her loyal protector hadn't betrayed her trust. He had proven it in the most powerful way possible. The mother scooped her baby into her arms, clutching him tightly against her chest. Her hands trembled, but now it wasn't from fear, it was from overwhelming relief. She pressed her cheek to his soft hair, whispering promises of safety, her tears falling freely onto his tiny shoulders, beside her. The German shepherd lowered his head, ears drooping as though uncertain of her reaction. His chest rose and fell quickly, still tense from the confrontation.
Slowly, she reached out with her free hand, resting it gently on his fur.
"I'm sorry," she whispered, her voice breaking. "You were protecting him all along." The dog leaned into her touch, his amber eyes softening. He licked the baby's foot with tender care, earning a soft giggle through the tears. The three of them sat together on the carpet, a moment of silence wrapping them in warmth. In that instant, she knew she owed her child's safety and her own peace of mind to her loyal guardian. That night, long after the baby had drifted to sleep, the mother sat quietly beside the shepherd. She watched him rest near the crib, his eyes still alert, his body curled protectively as though standing guard even in slumber. Her heart swelled with gratitude. She finally understood that his instincts went beyond loyalty. They were a shield, a promise of safety she hadn't fully recognized until now. What she once thought was danger had been an act of love. From that day forward, she saw him not just as a pet, but as her baby's silent guardian angel. And the scream the camera recorded? It would forever remind her of the moment fear turned into eternal gratitude.